So, how do you draw eyes? It may seem familiar to artists who have drawn them so many times on their notebooks whenever they got bored during class as an artist, but there's more to them than you may think. In this series, I'll show you not just how to draw them, but how to draw them in various ways to help characterize your OCs and more. In this video, we'll be focusing on shape. Depending on how stylized you want your eyes to appear, focus on different shapes. I have already drawn 6 eyes as examples I sometimes use in my art. If you look closely, you can make out the general shape language, sometimes using a parallelogram, a square, and more. Starting off with a parallelogram. Start by outlining the parallelogram, start off and end off with a thinner line and thicken the middle when drawing this part. Also make sure the iris is always drawn as a semicircle to give the eye a more relaxed look. This generally resembles an upturned eye, which can give a character a cold or a serious looking expression. Another type of eye is a downturned eye, which you can think of as a tilted parallelogram with a line of direction going down as opposed to going up, as shown with the green arrow I drew on the reference sheet. Usually, downturned eyes on characters make them appear soft and kind-looking. As for the iris, I usually like to blur them. Now for this bigger looking eye, this can be drawn with a square base. Normally, I draw bigger looking eyes like this on younger characters as they appear more innocent and cute looking. The iris is also naturally drawn bigger. Unlike the other examples, a square's equal side lengths will give you a good guideline for this iris, which should naturally be drawn bigger. This is a horizontally elongated version of the upturned eyes. This thinner parallelogram shape will appear more masculine on a character. This is a slightly less tilted version of the downturned eyes. This is just a reference to the extent of which you can change these shapes. Lastly, almond eyes have an oval base which has a softer, rounder edge. Like the other examples, I usually darken the upper lid and leave a space in the corner of the eye. To leave off with a final thought, when first focusing on your character's traits, it helps to note down what type of person they are or how they appear in front of others. It's also helpful to see pictures of real people to reference off of. Obviously, this is just a small portion of what you can do, so you can get as creative as you want. Stay tuned for part 2.